Bongino's out of control furious. The person who has spoken with the deputy FBI director said, "This destroyed his career. He's threatening to quit and torch Pam unless she's fired." Amazing.
OJ over the continued
Politicom. I was there.
fallout from the release or lack thereof of the Jeffrey Epstein memo. Joining us right now in files, joining us right now on the phone is CNN anchor and chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, Fred, it remains to be seen if he actually follows through with what he has told colleagues. But what we do know is Dan Bongino has told people he is considering resigning as the deputy director of the FBI over the fallout that has continued ever since this memo was released last Sunday. The anger inside the MAGA base has only continued to grow instead of going away, as some officials inside hoped it would. And now our colleagues, along with Christian Holmes, Tanner Rabinowitz, and Evan Perez, we're hearing that he's considering resigning after they had this heated confrontation with the Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of this earlier this week. And basically there was a meeting at the White House where the FBI Director, Kash Patel, was there, the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. They were questioned about whether they were part of a story, that there was basically some infighting over how this came out, and this memo that said we're not going to be releasing any more information related to Jeffrey Epstein. And I should note that we are told Bongino denied leaking any story to this outlet that it was reported on. But there has been a lot of fighting between Attorney General Pam Bondi specifically and the leadership over at the FBI over who's to blame in this situation. I think the context here is obviously Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. They came from this MAGA world where they themselves had pushed a lot of questions about the so-called client list that Epstein had beforehand. And now the MAGA base is just not pleased or satisfied with what they've said in this memo that came out unsigned from the Justice Department and the FBI on Sunday night. So what we are told is Dan Bongino did not show up to work today, that he is essentially not there out of protest. But whether or not he actually follows through on this still remains to be seen. We're still reporting that out. But it just speaks to the backlash that the White House is very much feeling. And
I think one of the funniest things about, well, first of all, you were hired for this, man. You were hired for this. Like, your entire job here is to literally be the podcast guy who just says the things that the admin wants you to say. But it's pretty funny that he's like, you're ruining my actual career, which is not the deputy director of the FBI, but instead his podcasting career. And as a podcaster myself, I gotta be honest. He's right. It's so much better. The other thing that I also love about guys like this is that they're such bitches, bro. They're such babies. Oh, people don't like me anymore.
Understanding after this memo came out, despite President Trump the other day in the cabinet room asking, who still cares about this? One thing we know is the MAGA base certainly does.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks so much for that. We'll check back with you as you learn more. CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez is also with us. And so, Evan, is it your understanding that if Bongino were to resign, it's as a result of the infighting, including with the AG, Pam Bondi, or is it mostly over the disappointment of these Epstein files either not existing?
Can you remind me why Dan Bongino blocked you? Yes. I said, leak your steroid regimen, king. That's it. That's the reason why he blocked me. Many years ago. That's a very personal question. I just wanted to know what he was on, bro. Like, what he was cycling. He looked good. I wanted the juice. This is Jim Acosta. This is disgraceful. Jim Acosta owes the Secret Service uniform division officer an apology. As a Secret Service agent on the Bush and Obama details, I roll my White House pass every single day at the White House. If the Secret Service can follow the rules, so can Acosta. Snowflake. Yep, Acosta really needs to toughen up. Good to hear the young turds coming around. Dan, please leak your steroid routine. Are you accusing me of a drug crime on an open platform? Be very careful in your answer here, because I will promise you that the wrong one will be very expensive for both you and the young turds. I can't believe this guy is... You're telling me this guy is the deputy director of the FBI who's looking to quit his job because everyone's mad at him for not leaking the Epstein files? I'm assuming he also blocked it because his lawyer informed him that being made fun of is not worthy of a lawsuit. Isn't that crazy? Dan Bongino, I am so sorry I asked you what you were cycling, which prompted you to block me many years ago. It was merely in jest and a compliment. You are very brolic. Please do not arrest me, a fellow podcaster, sir. I no longer believe you're an Anna warrior. You are so unserious. Dog, I'm unserious. The fucking American government is unserious. Of course I'm unserious. I'm a Twitch streamer. Yeah, the fact that a guy who engaged in discourse with someone as unserious as myself and like got butt mad and had to block me because I asked him what his steroid regimen was after calling my, at the time, place of employment, the young turds, is now the FBI deputy director. Like, that is unserious. Okay? That is what's unserious. The expectation, I'm a clown. Of course I'm unserious. But clowns are not supposed to be the deputy director of the FBI. Why are you poking the hornet's nest? I just want to see what he would do. Clowns wear shirts that are too big? Yeah, like me. I'm a clown. TPU crowd boos after Laura Ingraham asked about the Epstein investigation?
How many of you are satisfied? You can clap. Satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay, I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening. I'm not going to grade you on a curve. So I was going to get to that. How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation? How many of...
No shit.